Bora, mano. Ô, Gold. Ah, Gold.
I've seen terrible things born out in the darkness. Every moment brings them closer.
Oh my gosh, where are we?
And the music.
You ready? Chad, are you ready? On your deal.
All ends and beginnings.
Battle stations. All right, game over. Credits. Oh my God.
Minuto.
Holy crap.
About time we go to the moon.
Was that a darkest ship behind Okora?
Sir Happy Eris is back.
We are your
Salvation.
Wait.
The line between light and dark is so very thin. Let's cross it together.
Holy crap. This got me feeling things.
Hello, old friend.
これはマジで鳥肌立ちました
Oh my god.
Alright, put the popcorn down, y'all.
I'm afraid.
What? Traveler just did a Death Star!
Oh my god. What is he doing? No way.
Oh my God, was?
Agora, cara. Pô,
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Like many of you, I've been playing games as long as I can remember. They're a core part of what makes me who I am. I believe there's this deeply rooted, often unstated mission of games to keep adventure alive. In 2014, Bungie set out to start a new adventure. Heroes awakened on a desolate planet. A silent god set in our sky. And it wouldn't be long before an ancient enemy, shrouded in darkness, showed up at humanity's door to destroy us. Over the years, our heroes would shape a story far greater than anything we could have imagined. Players would explore deep into the depths of Venus, hunting a machine god that controlled time itself. They'd invent ways to combine their mythic weaponry and their paracausal abilities to stand alone against monsters that took
Vem,
others
mano, vem.
an entire elite squad. They'd race alongside their friends far into the early morning in the halls of an ancient city where only a select few emerged victorious at dawn, clutching the heart of a dragon. But most importantly, they'd bring their friends and their family into this world and together meet new faces on this adventure who would become lifelong companions. Now, together, we approach the final shape. We're about to embark on the last expedition of Destiny's first saga. So let's be clear about the stakes. In the final shape, you will go inside the Traveler. The journey will be difficult. And what awaits you on the other side of this trek is nothing less than the deadliest entity we have ever faced. There will be no open betas. There aren't going to be any guides on the internet telling you how to handle what's to come. Whether you've been with us from the beginning, joined us somewhere along the
a
road,
voz tá boa?
or looking at Destiny for the first time, anybody who shows up on launch day is going to be greeted with this
Cara, eu
same
David Jones
uncharted
falando
world.
besteira,
A
desligou aquele
vacuum-sealed
troço também.
experience, begging for you to be the first person to peel it open. So today is your invitation to go forth and adventure.
Opa, amigo, aí sim.
After all these years, we never talked about it. Why I brought you back.
Caralho.
Why you were chosen.
É outra dimensão mesmo, velho. Caralho, velho.
The truth is, I didn't know then.
Ah, o fantasma não sabia por que
It was
recente.
just a feeling.
É só um sentimento. Ah, que lindo o trailer, velho.
But I know now.
Agora ele sabe por que reviver.
After all we've seen,
Depois de tudo que nós vimos,
all we've lost,
tudo que perdemos,
this fight
isso pode ser.
might be our last. So I'm asking you one
Caralho.
last time to rise.
Qual o poder? Qual o poder? Explica assim. Luz pura? É aquele machadão ali. Vou fazer a pré-order agora. Agora, nesse momento.
This is a momentous
Coração
time
viajante.
in Destiny history. We've been building to this moment for the last 10 years.
The final shape is the conclusion to that journey. This is a moment in gaming that, as a developer, you just don't get very often.
Me dei.
Guardians and allies are fighting the biggest threat that the universe has ever seen in this big culmination of the Light and Darkness saga.
Não, Legião.
When we were thinking of what the final shape could be, it had to be a lot of different things. It needs to pay off this epic confrontation with the Witness that we've been setting up for years. It has to bring you closer to your allies in the Vanguard. It has to be this place that like makes you feel nostalgic for the entire journey you've been on.
When we were resurrected by ghosts at the very beginning of this story, we didn't know why, but it was for this. The Traveler is asking us for help. And it's our responsibility to protect every living thing in the universe from what the Witness intends to do.
Nenhuma troca, né? Te devolve a vida e te protege.
When we first start the final shape, we are finally able to go through the portal that the Witness opened in the Traveler at the end of Lightfall.
Inside is the Pale Heart of the Traveler. That is the stage for our showdown with the Witness.
The Witness has the darkness. It has always had a connection to it. The Pale Heart of the Traveler is what it's trying to use to gain connection to the light. So with both, it can enact its final shape.
The Witness looks around and sees a lack of purpose, no meaning. It wants to fix all that. So it's trying to put the universe into this frozen perfection where
Vamos fazer
everything's just exactly how it thinks
análise
it's supposed to be.
depois.
That is the final shape.
Olha essa
If we're
coisa
going to defeat
grudenta.
the Witness, it's going to take everyone. Failure is not an option.
We're gonna need the Vanguard, all of our allies, and all the Guardians to rally together and be brave
Olha, tem
in the
umas
face of
subclasses que usam
oblivion.
machado, né? Não sei se é relíquia. Vai ser.
In the final shape, we're going to answer questions at the grandest scale. But what I find really interesting is that it's also a very personal journey where we deepen our relationships with these characters that we've known for so long. Zavala, Ikora, our ghost, get to reconnect with Cade 6. So, like, while there's this great conflict and everything going on around us and stakes of just unimaginable heights, it's still at the end a story told around campfires by a bunch of companions who have been fighting together for hundreds of years.
In the final shape, we're going through the portal that the Witness has opened up to confront it and stop the final shape. Inside the Traveler is this infinite, vast, unknowable, and we're landing on the Pale Heart, which is a fraction of really what is inside the
de
Traveler.
fato dentro do viajante.
The Pale Heart is weird. It's a little strange, it makes you feel a bit uncomfortable, and it is also just so cool and artistic in the best way.
The Witness entered well ahead of any Guardians, and so it's had time to kind of shape what's there. When our Guardian enters, the rest of the Pale Heart starts getting shaped also around what we've experienced.
This is the Traveler recreating the world in front of you as it saw on your journey.
One of the most memorable locales from Destiny's past
Esse vai ser o local mais bonito, aparentemente.
It's really a labor of love from the Destiny team. The final shape means so much to everyone who's building it, and I think players are really going to be able to see that.
Não vai ser mais bonito do que a Cidade Onírica.
The Pale Heart is our very first linear destination that we've ever done. I would love it if players felt that they began their journey in a place of safety and feel it escalate in danger, in surrealness, because there is this beautiful evolution of the space.
They see things that are more and more wrong as they begin to go towards the Witness's monolith. It's kind of this omnipresent, foreboding thing off in the distance.
The weirdest things happen as you get closer to the monolith in the form of reshaping. Kind of like deconstructing things and putting them back together just wrong.
The sense of scale you get out there, like as you're exploring these spaces and you're jumping on these reshaped cuboids of Earth, you feel tiny as a Guardian. You feel alone. You feel like you are not the force to be reckoned with that you have been. You're not the God Slayer right now. You're just this little person jumping from these massive pieces to massive pieces.
One of the things that we really tried to also capture is that the Witness keeps throwing everything it has at you. And so you're going to fight these new enemies, the Subjugators.
Subjugators are the new unit you're going to be facing in the final shape. They have an enhanced power set. They're performing stasis powers and strand powers to face the Guardian, well, in support of all the other enemies you're fighting too.
They bring something entirely new to the battlefield, which is kind of this element of control.
They're back there pinging away with stasis abilities, throwing crystals at you, freezing you in place, tangling you up.
We're focusing you on the campaign and only the campaign. It's the most important thing in the universe at that moment. You have to stop the final shape from happening.
And for that, we do need the help with our allies. And so we're going to make sure that the core Vanguard team gets back together. Zavala and Ikora and Cade.
The campaign is just the start of the Pale Heart. After you've reached the monolith and finished the campaign, we open up the entire destination, and so the entire Pale Heart is going to react to you and what you are doing.
The campaign in the final shape doesn't really end with the final mission. The raids are where you defeat like the big bosses. So it's only natural that when you are going to confront the Witness, you're going to do that in the raid. But that might not be enough. This is a moment where we need to rally all Guardians to be able to overcome the final shape and the Witness.
Então é só botar a raid final na última temporada, simples assim.
In the final shape, we are inside the Traveler, very close to this energy. This allows us to have new supers, Arc, Solar, Void.
We want to create something that turns you into an offensive powerhouse, but also
can benefit your allies in a support capacity. There
Então
is this
favor,
thread
Titã, tenha
of
algo.
team play and like working with your
distância.
friends to overcome the odds. The Warlock Super is this ultimate expression of solar energy coursing through your Guardian. This Solar Warlock Super is a callback to Radiance from D1.
Other than Golden Gun, this is the only other first-person super in Destiny right now. Your melee's all these projectiles going off, doubling the amount of projectiles. Your grenade almost being sentient as it searches around, and then it hits a character and bounces off and goes to another one. And you're so overflowing with this energy that you are also giving it to your allies, allowing them to have their solar weapons supercharged, applying Scorch when they're shooting.
The new Solar Warlock aspect, when I cast my Rift, it is going to create this little solar soul that when it sees an enemy, it launches part of itself out and hits the enemy and explodes and scorches them.
It just feels very alive. Twilight Arsenal. It's a layered super.
This is the only ranged one-off offensive super for Titans in the game. The Titan jumps up into the air, summons this giant void axe, throws it, summons another one, throws it, summons another one, looks at a different group of enemies,
uma
throws
super
it.
longa distância,
And
mano.
when these axes fly through the air, they stick into the ground or an enemy, do their void gravity thing where they suck a bunch of
Não sei
energy
se vai
and
servir
enemies
pra
in and
matar
then
boss.
explode. But that doesn't destroy the axe. The axe sticks around, and you and your allies can go and pick up
Aí,
that
a galera
axe and
pode
start
pegar o
wailing
machado
on
que
enemies
eles
with
jogar.
it.
This super is insane to me.
The Void Titan aspect, I press and hold my grenade button to consume my grenade and turn it into the shield. The more damage it takes, the more it charges up, and then I can release that, and it creates this blast that deals massive damage.
O Titã consumiu uma granada que vai fazer shield.
Arc is
Quanto
all
mais
about finding
dano,
the shortest
mais
distance
o
between 2
blast
points.
vai
The hunter kind of
soltar.
rears back, takes this knife and throws it across the world, and then is able to blink to its position, do the slash that just decimates anyone nearby.
One really great thing about that is not just you do it once, but you're able to do it 3 times, along with
Pode
devastating
fazer 3
attacks
vezes.
each time you do it.
The hunter has an aspect. We take our staff, we twirl it in the air, which propels us upward. It creates this burst, which
bom pra
amplifies you
teleportar também.
and any allies near you.
It almost makes it feel like you're playing a fighting game, right? Like these
Fica todo
combos that
mundo.
you're chaining together to do these different moves. It like takes that sandbox to the next level.
The more aspects we have, the more capable we are to do that.
It feels like you're like
vai
riding the
voltar
lightning, you
com
know? Like that
Resplendor,
instantaneous,
que
like,
That was good, but I think it's more like, you know?
I like it, I like it.
Weapons team has been working on all sorts of goodness. We've got exotics, we've got legendaries, we've got perks. We're always cooking up stuff. We're always playing with stuff that we think is like really interesting or taking inspiration. We have Tessellation, which is this exotic pyramid fusion rifle. It has the really intriguing property of adapting your Guardian's current damage type.
This will be
Olha aí,
the
hoje eu
first
já vou pegar
time
esse
that you
exótico,
can
hein?
run a weapon that can adapt to be strand or stasis in the energy slot. So you'll be able to run an entirely strand or entirely stasis loadout. Tessellation has the additional property that you can special reload
Pelo
to
que eu entendi, a arma
reshape
ela pega
your
qualquer
grenade
elemento, ela
and suck it
absorve
into the
qualquer
weapon,
elemento que
and
tu
then
usa
fire
depois da
out a
granada,
super
como se
destructive
fosse
single
aquele
projectile.
perk de homeostase.
It's a really special weapon.
What's the one specific exotic that I can make that's like really zany that you would like right now?
What if Golden Gun was a sniper rifle?
What if you could harness the might of the Traveler? You know, we had a
Golden
moment
Gun
where we
sniper
saw
rifle?
that Traveler beam cutscene. I know people on Weapons went,
Exótica
I kind of want that. You're like,
Traveler
that is
beam?
incredibly dope.
Wow!
So we've got this opportunity to bring back these iconic Destiny 1 weapons, but really turn it into something that feels unique in
Bafo de
Destiny
dragão
2.
vai voltar.
We have to bring Kvostov into the fold.
Kvostov vai voltar. Cadê a
Red Death
Icebreaker?
exotic pulse rifle.
And Dragon's Breath.
Icebreaker.
Burn the world, burn it all. In the
Icebreaker.
final shape, we have new weapon subfamilies coming, broadening what existing weapons can be.
Really like bordering on
Yeah,
exotic
novas
functionality.
subfamílias
So
de
for example,
armas.
we've got a rocket pistol sidearm subfamily. We always liked the special ammo sidearms. This fires tiny
Rocket pistol.
slow-moving rockets. They hit very hard, do a bit of AoE damage.
Tira
They have a mixture of regular weapon and rocket launcher stats. We're also doing a new support weapon subfamily.
The support frame auto rifle is a type of legendary auto rifle. It'll let you switch seamlessly from firing at enemies to healing your allies. I'm really excited to bring it to dungeons and keep my team alive, honestly.
The weapons team is always coming up with new ideas. We've got a ton of new cool stuff coming over the next few years, and some new and really wild ideas, which we're pretty excited about.
Come on, take a load off. We've got a lot to cover. This place is only big enough for one dashing hero type, and that's me, so... I'm back! Hey, you two, give me a sec. I was magnificent. This is great. Anyone want a hug? Get your rock off my map. Worst case scenario, you die. But who knows? Maybe you won't.
Que foi, velho? Alô?
Well,
cadê tu, Nacal?
better get back to it.
Alô, tá me ouvindo aí?
Agora
Mano?
sim.
Tá me ouvindo? Alô? Alô?
In this moment where we're driving to the end of the Light and Darkness saga, it's great to see Cade like return to this world at this moment with all this change about to culminate with this confrontation with the long-standing enemy, the Witness.
Cade is the quintessential hunter. His presence casts such a long shadow over the story of Destiny, whether it was when he was alive or when he was dead.
What Cade goes through in this journey, how he serves as a catalyst for the other characters, the events that are uncovered to have brought him back. This is how the story had to end. There was no end to the Light and Darkness saga that didn't have Cade here alongside his friends to finish the job.
Once we started digging into the nature of the Pale Heart, I think that crystallized Cade's role as a guide. Cade is Virgil, and he's our guide through this other place. Cade is the one who is the most appropriate person to be the guide, because that's his job. That's always been his job. It just feels so natural for Nathan to be back in the booth. It felt amazing to just see him slip back into the role, like, without missing a beat.
Right, instantly.
In the flesh, or metal, as it were.
Cade's the glue that's always held Zavala and Ikora together. Having him back puts them in a position of questioning where they've been and what they've done without him.
You think about the journey that Zavala's been on and how he's been taken down this dark path, and you think about the weight that's been on Ikora, having to hold the Vanguard together, having Cade's voice of levity and brightness that he brings to that group. I think it's going to be great for them.
É porque eu tô fazendo live aí parece que a live tá usando o microfone.
We want people to take away that sense of reunion and that idea of like the gang being back together for this moment.
I'm here
Como assim,
now.
fazendo live?
Pra deixar
Wherever
gravado.
the hell here is.
Que é melhor do que a live do Dave Jones. Ó, as classes vão ter 3 supernovas.
A supernova portátil.
Guardian.
Não,
É o pesadelo do Crota.
A dire threat. And the Witch Queen holds the answers we
Agora. Essa é a season de agora.
if we contend with her sister.
Ela só vai ser revivida no final da season, aposta quanto?
É this morning?
Will you come back from this? Do not
Tava
be
bom.
Mas tá mostrando a Alice Morning aqui.
É uma macumbeira, né?
Ela virou um ser da colmeia? Mentira.
Eita porra.
Armadura da colmeia. Um cetro.
Eu lembro que a Ares dizia que ela tinha a verdadeira forma dela. A verdadeira forma dela é aquela.
Arma nova. Ah, a arma do acólito.
E ela tá bala, hein? Eita, vai ter mais roguelike.
Fight in my name, Guardian.
Uma finalização nova. Ah, agora a gente tem a borboleta também, então. Pra overshield.
Vai ser um tipo de coisa do artefato.
Ah, tá.
Porra! Aquilo ali, aquela
Como é
bruxa ali.
luzente. É como é luzente, pô.
Tinha uma bruxa com cabeça de Oryx ali. Tá, cadê a raid?
Esse daí é o... É o carinha do Fosso da Heresia, não era?
É?
Temporada da bruxa.
Ó, Season da bruxa. A bruxa é a Ares, né? Ela que deve ser a verdadeira bruxa.
The Season of the Witch is our opportunity as players. We've been annihilating and
E se ela for
spells, and now we finally get to cast them.
Chivorat.
At the end of Season of the Deep, we
Tem
learned
gente
that
que falava que
Savathun
ela
has
era...
the key to getting into the portal that we need to go into. That means we have to go find
Oh, vai ter
Immaru,
porta
her ghost.
fantasma
And
agora.
Laura's like, not so fast.
Colmeia.
We've got a
É
bigger
o
problem
da
first. And that bigger problem's
Savathun, né?
name is Zivu Arath. If we fight her, she
Mm-hmm.
only gets stronger. Eris has an idea. It's a really
good
It's a
idea.
wild ass idea, yeah. She determines like, well, the best way
minha
to
live?
fight fire is with fire.
Não, tô vendo a
We
minha, você
are
não tá
channeling
dando
all
live?
of that energy
minha
that we're
tem eu
creating by
comentando.
going through, by eliminating enemies, and we're tithing to our friend Eris.
Bring me your tithes.
What does that mean for the characters and the player to kind of like be like Savathun? And that's where we went down the path of having Hive Eris. We want to extend that magical fantasy into the player then. That ability to have overwhelming magical power, that risk and reward into all of our activities and systems experiences. And so that's what led us to come up with things like Deck of Whispers.
Ó, mecânica, hein?
It's this magical deck of cards
Ah, tá.
that creates amazing synergies with your buildcraft meta. and
Deck
with
de
buffs and
carta?
activities.
Sério isso?
They can then choose these cards
É,
at
pô.
will.
Nossa, olha
and
quanta
then
coisa
that
tem.
really leans into the build crafting.
You actually are
Essa
getting
season
cards
vai
that
ter
you
o
can
fazer,
then use
hein?
to place on the battlefield and change the way you play.
I'm such a sucker for deck building. Like being able to like bring that element
disse
into
que é uma
Destiny
chupadora em
gameplay
fazer
has
build.
just been like, oh, chess
Yeah,
is
oh, it's
really
super
fun.
fun.
Olha a Riven, das mil vozes.
Deck da Raven ali, acabou.
A
So we've
última
got two
arrancada
brand new seasonal
conhecida.
activities coming with Season of the Witch. We've got Altars of Summoning and Savathun's Spire.
Savathun Spire is our new 3-player offensive. You're doing a lot
Spire
more
of
with
the
Lucent Hive
Savathun.
magic, but it's got a high
Mhm.
amount of combatant density. It's
tipo
got
Pináculo de
a
Savathun.
random encounters that you can come
Exato.
across.
Pináculo de
The Witch's
Savathun.
Spire itself, Savathun's
Exato.
Spire, was like
Olha
her
aí, torre
reliquary
igualzinha, ó.
for all these different magical experiments as she was learning the light. You're there in order to learn as much as you can in order to become a master spellcaster, right? To become like Savathun.
Ah, essa daí seria
É o
a
cast.
missão de
The Altar of Summonings
temporada.
activity is really exciting because you can spend like 20 minutes in it or you can spend 2 hours in it.
It's a 3-player experience that you can hop in and hop out of. As you're going
Sim,
through this
demorar 20
activity,
minutos ou
you're
uma
filling
hora.
the tithing bucket. As that tithing bucket is filled up, you'll get progressively more rewards. And then finally at the end, it'll cash out and you'll get a
Quanto
whole
mais
mess
tempo
of
você
rewards.
ficar,
Aham.
mais é tipo um modo survival, então.
We really wanted to make sure that
Melhor
there
vai
was
ter
a home
recompensa.
for any exotic mission content coming in season.
Isso sim é um
after
indie
the year
game,
has
velho.
passed. And so we
Não, não,
developed what
só
we
que
call an
aí
exotic
esse de
missions rotate.
sobrevivência, Kit,
Right away, we're
vai
getting
ser
Presage,
completando
Vox
desafios,
Obscura,
então vai chegar uma hora que não dá pra
Operation
completar
Seraphim.
mais.
This is some of the most fun
Aqueles de
content the team
barrinha.
has making. It's some of the content the fans and players of Destiny love the most. The most exciting thing outside
Acho
of
que em
just the missions
2024
themselves
volta a missão
is that every
da
time we
da
put a
0
mission
hora.
inside of that rotator, the exotic that comes
Vixe
alongside of it
Maria.
will become crafted.
Aí a gente vai poder fazer uma surto, né? Um acerto de tiro rápido ao invés
With
de
Season of the Witch, we have a brand
fora
new
da lei.
Vex,
Aí você bota o
lo-fi
quê?
PvP map coming.
Você
It's really
bota
exciting. It's got a bunch of really
uma
tight
divindade
gameplay
5
experiences.
surtos, não
We
tem
wanted to make
quem
sure that
aguente, não.
we focus the combat a little bit more. With the new Vex
Depende
network
da
map, we
fase
really
de
wanted
dano.
to make sure we hit.
Ó,
It's like,
pipoqueiro,
hey, you're
diga.
shoulder to shoulder more often. There's not as much deep sight lines that you're interacting with, and a lot of the flow of the map
Alô?
is actually built around this like kind of
Pipoqueiro.
central pillar of the Vex network that you're orienting around.
And there's also some modes coming too, right?
We've got a new PvP game mode coming that's all about relics.
Ó, o
It's
pipoqueiro
about
te
multiple
mandou
relics,
beijo,
so it's
Gus.
not just one like the Scorch game mode.
Aonde? Pergunta pra
So
ele.
we've got the
Ele
shield
perguntou
coming from
aonde.
Vault of Glass. We've got the spear back from Season of the Risen.
And we got the scythe from Season of the Haunted.
Yeah, so you're going to be reaping Guardians with that thing. It's a lot more tactical gameplay. It's all about running around the map, claiming these relic dispensers,
Pipoqueiro.
and then grabbing them in order to
448774.
Eu disse pra eu ver as mensagens. Só que se eu ver as mensagens
The words in
da
my
live, tá falando?
are the weapon
in my fists.
We were feeling pretty hypey this season.
Não consigo ver as mensagens da minha live.
There's something in the air. And so when thinking about like what's a good raid reprisal that would really
Não tem nada lá.
this very hypey season, there's only one answer.
Ele disse beijo na bunda, Gold. Beijo na bunda. É YouTube. YouTube.
É YouTube, cara. Eu sabia.
Opa, crota, crota.
I have seen what the Hive call
É crota. Nunca joguei essa raid, hein, Gold? Primeira vez, hein? Eita, já vai... Oh, caralho, já vai ter os ornamentos. Graças a Deus. A raid já vai vir com os ornamentos do D1. Olha a abismo da morte aí, meu Deus.
Reciclagem.
Reciclagem total, amigo. Mano, que massa, véi.
Massa nada, isso daí é pura massa nostálgica.
Mano, coisa boa.
Não, Kit, não acredito que eu paguei R$400 por isso, cara.
Não, essa daqui é de graça.
Olha lá, ah, eu vou comprar esse anel, quero nem saber.
Não vai comprar, não.
Vou.
Não vai, não.
Vou, independente do preço.
Conto, o anel.
Oi?
$400.
Pera, dólares?
Dólares.
É sacanagem, né?
Não.
Tá 4, 8, R$2.000 o anel? Tá de sacanagem, né, Kit?
É um anel muito importante. Sim. Deve brilhar no escuro.
Não duvido. Ah, mas é uma esmeralda ali no meio, né?
Não, é só um LEDzinho.
RGB então? Melhor ainda. Tá, câmera de cristal.
One of the major changes that's going to be happening starting with the final shape is
Coloca
there
os
are going to
ornamentos.
be a certain number of activities that are going to be power fixed. So it doesn't matter kind of what power level you are going into it, you're always going to be able to approach it. There's still going to be tiers of difficulty that you can do. Things that are just meant to be experienced a certain way.
Things like Nightfall.
Ah, então não precisa fazer nada, então. Não, pera. Se não precisa farmar, a gente sempre vai estar no mesmo nível. Por que quando eu entro no GM, eu tomo IK pra algo que alguém que tá max cap não toma?
One way that we're trying to do that is making it easier for new players to engage with you. So we're introducing something that we're calling Fire Team Power.
You can actually bring your friends along
Do GM
to play
é que
any dungeons
se
and
você
raids
tiver
in
um
the
nível
game
muito
without
acima do
having to
que
wait them to be at a
precisa,
certain power
não vai
level.
fazer diferença.
The
Você
person
só
with the
tem que estar no
highest
nível
power
cap
in
do
your fire
GM
team is
pra
actually
fazer a
going to
diferença.
bring all the others close to their power level, which means
Vixe,
that there's
e
no
olha o nível
barriers
de poder
really for any
2.000,
other
cara.
guardian to join you in this
2K.
high level content.
When it's combined with Fire Team Finder, it also allows you to find
Sendo que atualmente é 1810, Kit. Farmei à toa hoje.
1810? É não, é?
É, 1810 o cap.
Coming in season 23, aimed at helping connect and find
Então
other
vamos
people
farmar
to
muito. Ó,
complete
Guardian
the
Ult.
best and most aspirational content in
Augusto, eu
Destiny.
quero
We
aquele
have
ali
a
dourado, hein?
tag system that
190
allows players
níveis.
to be able to say, well,
Ah.
this is my playstyle. I'm really
Agora
chill,
tem um
I'm
sistema
anti-sweat, I'm just
diferente
really here to
pra
have a
Fire
good
Team.
day. Exactly.
Tags really allows players to show a little bit more personality, show a little bit more about what they're about. I think what's
Olha,
really
vai
great
dar pra
about
mudar a
it is
língua.
with this launch, we're also looking
E
at
quem você
including
quer
inclusion
chamar?
tags.
As an example, one of the inclusion tags
Colorblind.
that we have are for colorblind players. Hopefully the inclusion tags will bring players closer to finding their community and even closer to the people that they're playing with. So once a listing goes live, players will be put
que
into a
tinha como
listing
chamar
lobby where
Toxic ali?
players can gather, they
Aham.
can communicate with each other. So we wanted to make it as convenient and as easy as possible for players to not just
Oryx
sit
BNG.
and stare at a screen for a long time while their listing actually fills up.
As a
Oryx
gamer who's
BNG.
typically more solo, I'm especially excited about this because it really is about helping
Aquele
reduce
capacete
that
ali.
anxiety and burden
Da
that comes
Riven.
with trying to make a new connection.
No arcano ali, da direita pra esquerda. No arcano não, no
É,
titã.
é da Exótica.
Ah, tá.
The feature coming out today that I'm incredibly excited about is Timeline Reflections. Essentially, what we have done is we've went back to previous expansions and pulled out
Agora Forsaken é de graça, é isso?
really represent key narrative beats within our story. We're going to have a mission for Forsaken, mission for Beyond Light, as well as a mission for Witch Queen.
Thanks for the memories, Guardian.
The neat thing about these missions is they're not going to be like one-to-one for how you would
Falando nisso, eu tenho que terminar a
experience
Bruxa Rainha pra pegar o seu
You're also going to
Striga.
get additional pieces of narrative fed to you to like identify like, hey, this is why it's important
Missão da
that this
Beyond Light,
happened,
né?
and here are the people you met along the way.
A really big one that's really timely for Final Shape is K's
Sim,
last
é tudo
stand
de
from
graça,
Forsaken.
Kit.
E quem pagou?
Quem pagou se ferrou.
This is a moment that a lot of players, new and old, are going to come back to Destiny. I
Quem
think this is just the
desembolsou
right
aí
time to
quarto
introduce
de
features
salário
that
mínimo.
Acabou de
allow
falar
those
que é um
players to
ótimo
jump right
momento
in
para os
and
novos
find
players
people to play with
voltarem.
and enjoy this content
Agora vão ter
regardless of their
novas
power level.
luzes.
Novos players voltarem? Mas se eles são novos, significa que eles nunca vieram. Como que eles vão estar voltando pra cá se eles nunca vieram pra cá?
And the new way we're going to tell stories moving forward.
What's really important about episodes
viu
is
o
that it's a
pronome
really good
dele?
shake-up
He-Day.
to what we've been
E é
doing.
tipo uma legião
Instead
de
of
pessoas, né?
providing 4 seasons a year, you are going to get 3 larger episodes. And so the first 3 episodes in this coming year are called Echoes, Revenant,
Ah, o episódio da heresia deve ser o
and
melhor.
Heresy. It's coming right after the final shape. And the theme for the year is going to be all about the consequences and aftermath of the final shape.
Da heresia
I think what's really the
colmeia.
cornerstone
Ah,
of
eu
the
acho
model
que
that
vai
we're
ser a
building is the
Shibarate.
3-act structure. The
Pois
acts
é,
act
eles
as
falaram
these
que vão
anchors
meter esse negócio de
for us to
episódio.
introduce new weapons, new
Fora
artifact
você
mods,
comprar a
new
temporada, ainda tem
activities.
que
There's
comprar
going
os
to be new
episódios
missions
todos.
coming around the core. There'll be new story moments
Ah,
in
para.
every single one of these acts. We're actually providing more cinematic styled experiences throughout the final shape year and the episodes with it than any of the seasons we've ever developed before.
These new stories are actually playable as standalone. Like each episode is something you can experience whether you've been playing Destiny for 10 years or this is your first one.
You're going to be able to basically enjoy them in any
E o
order.
Destiny 3,
I think the
cadê?
opportunity with this big epic
Cara, acabou
moment
de falar que
is
você
that we
pode
get to innovate. the
Destiny
game. We get
5?
to
escolher o
move the game
episódio em
forward.
qualquer
It's
ordem
all
que
about
você quiser, ou
change
seja, foda-se a
frequently.
lore,
It's all about
foda-se.
deeper story moments. It's
Entendimento.
all about more weapons, more loot,
pessoa só
more
quer
often.
andar e
And it
atirar,
really
é
provides
isso.
the team with a platform to go much deeper into the
Não
themes
são
and
episódios
fantasies and
canônicos?
story
Caiu a live dele?
any individual episode as compared
Não,
to
aqui
the
tá
seasons you know
normal.
of today.
I'm so excited to see what the narrative team can
Eita,
do with
é
this kind of
vermelho,
new
é
platform
Siva.
of storytelling. Episodes provides
Oh,
this
pelo amor de
awesome
Deus,
foundation
Kit. Tudo que é
for the
vermelho aí você
future
já
of
acha que é
Destiny.
Siva,
We're moving
cara.
into the next stage of Destiny 2.
Eu
I
acho que
think
o
some
primeiro
people look
ato
at the
vai ter
final shape
Siva,
and they
hein?
think Destiny 2 is coming to the end. And in many ways, it's the opposite. We're leaning in. We're putting the pedal to the metal. Episodes provide us a new, innovative way for players to engage with Destiny 2 throughout the year.
Acho que vai ter Siva, hein?
What makes a Guardian a Guardian?
Pera, o Zavala ainda tem o fantasma?
Não, ele era o passado dele aí, ó. Magrão, ó.
tá.
We were chosen for a reason. By
Antes de
something
meter
greater
o
than
shake.
ourselves.
Guardian. Guardian? Eyes up, Guardian.
Olha,
Shaped by the fires of each new battle. We are forged
Haha,
sharpened
Galahorn.
into what we must become for the fight ahead. We are the final line that halts the second collapse.
All of us.
é a voz do Lance.
Every Titan.
Conheço aquele fuzil de batedor só pelo barulho.
Every hunter.
Essa história do Homem Morto?
Não. Coelho de Jade.
Ah,
Bravery inspires sacrifice.
Sacrifice leads to death.
The line between light and dark is so very thin.
o cara matou meu amigo, vou ajudar ele.
Não, mas por que você fala do Corvo como se ele fosse um vilão, sendo que quando você vira um guardião você não lembra de nada da...
Não, mas o Corvo ele é de boa.
Então...
You've heard the stories
O Corvo ele é de boa.
sacrifice
Mas e o...
of darkness descending upon humanity.
Esquece o nome, Kit.
Uldren, sobe.
Uldren Sov.
Ele era um corno, né?
E esse triângulo ali é o portal pra onde?
Tá dentro do viajante. Foi falado no live. É pra conseguir entrar dentro do viajante.
Mas o que tem dentro do viajante?
Outro mundo.
Outro mundo? Literalmente outro mundo? Não, onde o... Agora, vai partir pro multiverso já aí, né?
Não, tipo, tem um mundo só dentro do viajante, como se fosse um planeta. Só que com várias... Vai falar da série?
Série?
Today, you got a glimpse at how we'll be cementing your legend in this upcoming year. We're going to be heading inside the Traveler, experiencing a destination unlike anything we've ever built before.
E é bem bonito dentro do viajante. O que eu vi vai ser o destino mais bonito até agora. Não sei se tu viu o início da live.
Não cheguei a ver não.
Então a gente faz um recap e eu te mostro.
Tu me mostra?
Mostro.
It's Destiny's first episode in a new phase of storytelling for Guardians with brand new conflicts born from the resolution of the Light and Darkness.
Agora ele vai pesar quantos? 300 gigas?
These first episodes are just the beginning.
Do jeito que eles querem, vai pra 500.
To see how the Light and Darkness saga is going to kick off the future
vai
of
ter um HD
Agora
só
sim.
Dash.
We've got a ton of great content.
Agora sim ele vai ficar seletivo.
Going live after this.
Aí só vai ter os players de chorume, né, mano?
Pera, ele falou novas armas quando mostrou um cajado. Aquele cajado lá seria uma glade ou o quê?
Não, ele é só uma relíquia.
Só uma relíquia mesmo?
A arma que ele falou que vai ter um duas subfamílias. Ó, semana que vem, hein?
Semana que vem não, sexta-feira, não é?
Não, essa sexta não, ele falou semana que vem. Vai ser dia 1 de setembro.
Então sexta... Dia 1 de setembro?
É. Basicamente, 2 semanas basicamente pra poder se preparar. Vai começar na sexta-feira da semana que vem.
Então, em 2 semanas eu tenho que pegar todos os catalisadores e deixar a obra-prima já.
E fechar um artefato pra pegar os mods. Olha aí, essa super edição eu gostei, mano. Pronto, esse arcano, ele vai ter o resplendor de volta do D1. Só que pelo que eu entendi, você não vai poder reviver.
Ah, então é o resplendor então, pô.
Você só vai poder ter poder ilimitado. Ficar instalando, soltando granada ilimitadamente.
Ah, podre. Acabou o showcase, é isso?
Bom, mano. Foi bastante, deu um tempo grande. Ó, Collector's Edition. Vamos ver, é aquela que a gente não compra. Vamos ver, ó. Cadê?
Vai vir com o quê? Uma cópia da espada?
Imagina se viesse com um revólver de verdade. Com bala.
Ah, é a torre, pô. Se fosse o Monarca, eu comprava.
Porra, disseram que eles trabalharam duro fazendo essa torrezinha, mano.
Tá de sacanagem, né?
Não, acabaram de falar isso.
Não, é um bloco isso daí, Kit. Um bloco mal feito.
Parece de plástico.
É de plástico.
Um trabalho muito duro.
Ah, não. Não, eles não trabalharam muito nisso daí, Kit. Olha esse boneco, mano. Até Lego é mais detalhado que isso. Se eu der um soco num bloco de argila, sai melhor que isso daí, cara. E vão vender por quê? 3 mil reais? Ah, é porque tem LED, né?
Olha, ligou a luzinha, ó. Mudou tudo agora.
Não, cara. Pô, esperava mais, hein, Kit.
Pô, mano, é de plástico, velho.
Parece podre, cara.
É a pior edição de colecionador que eu já vi desse jogo.
Pior que é pior mesmo.
As que tinham fantasma era bem bonita. Tinha um livro de Cabal, uma época.
Pera, vai sair em fevereiro a próxima DLC? Fevereiro de 2024?
Sempre em fevereiro, é.
Eles não vão adiar não, né?
Post-show start. Post-show.
Post-show.
Outro show.
Post-show.
Tem mais coisa. Ó, vamos ver lá na Steam agora. Não, 2 horas vai esperar, né? Basicamente, o que eles falaram, Golds? Vai ter um fuzil de fusão que a gente vai poder ter já quando comprar a pré-venda. Deluxe, né? Que ele tem osmose.
Ele não é tipo uma mantícora, não, né?
Não, ele tem osmose, pelo que eu entendi. Ele absorve...
Tipo aquela luva que cada classe tem?
Não. É o perk osmose. É um fuzil de fusão linear ou é normal? Eu não entendi direito. Ele é todo colorido, LGTV mesmo. E aí ele absorve o elemento da tua classe pra ele quando tu usa a habilidade de granada. Achei interessante. Não é uma Osterstiga da vida, porque eu acho que eles agora não querem mais fazer arma OP exótica. Uma arma que tu diga, essa é exótica porque é destruidora. Eles não querem mais fazer isso.
Eles querem fazer o que? Exótica que, tipo, você fala, entre essa exótica e essa lendária, acho que eu vou pegar essa lendária porque é melhor, né?
É tipo isso.
Podre, então.
Por exemplo, qual foi a última exótica que tu pegou, nova, da atualidade, que tu não jogou no copo? Ficou pra ti.
Vexcalibur.
Essa é pica. Mas essa daí foi da temporada passada. E ainda foi de missãozinha, né? Não foi nem de missão de tu ficar fazendo uma quest gigantesca pra pegar. Tipo aquela de gelo, que agora nem serve mais pra porra nenhuma.
Quarto Cavaleiro.
Quarto Cavaleiro era boa também.
Ainda é.
Tem a Mitoclasta Vex, que é boa também. E tu viu? Eles vão dar um buff gigantesco na Toque da Maldade.
Ainda bem que você vai me ajudar a fazer a Câmara de Cristal, né?
Mas a Toque da Maldade, ela é do Oryx.
Então, mas você vai me ajudar na Câmara de Cristal, porque eu não tenho a Mitoclasta Vex.
Bora.
E a Toque da Maldade a gente faz logo em seguida. Toque da Maldade, Mitoclasta Vex, Navegador.
Navegador, eu preciso pegar o catalisador dela.
Catalisador, eu também. Navegador.
Outra que tá faltando. Ó, o que é que vai ser? Porque agora a Toque da Maldade agora ela é Nutella, tá? Agora você não pode mais morrer pro tiro infinito dela.
Aí que é bom.
E aí ela tem um aumento de 20% do dano dela no PvE. E...
Já volto.
Tem muita coisa.
Este aqui é Portugal.
I don't even know where to begin. You've missed so much.
Welcome to the post-show stream. My name is Taylor Liz. I am a Destiny 2 player and content creator. I'm excited to be here live at Bungie. We're gonna have 2 segments for you today. A little later in the show, I'll be playing through the brand new Season of the Witch content with my good friend, Pika Peach. Right now, let's sit down with Bungie developers to talk more about what we just saw and what's next for the future of Destiny 2. Pika, over to you.
Thank you so much, Taylor. My name is Pika, and I'm also a content creator and Destiny 2 fan. You can often find Taylor and I playing together in some sort of challenge in-game. I'm beyond honored to be sitting down with everyone here today, so let's do some more introductions.
Thank you, Pika. It's great to have you here. Hi, my name is Cosmo. I'm the lead community role here at Bungie, and my role is supporting our amazing community team and all the great work they do, helping prepare weekly check-ins and sending info out to our players. I'm going to be teaming up with Pika today, and we're going to be asking some of these guys some questions and go over some of the things that we didn't get to cover in the showcase. So, yeah, Dan?
Yeah, thanks. I'm Dan McAuliffe. I'm the general manager for Destiny 2. And that mostly means that I get to support all the amazing talent that makes this game. So thanks for sitting down with us today.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to it.
I'm Joe. I'm the game director on Destiny 2. And actually, while Taylor and Liz were doing the intro, I was hiding behind a pillar for the last 10 seconds. So y'all can like roll back the VOD and see if I did a good job or not.
Awesome. So let's get into some questions. As a player, what are you guys most hyped about regarding the final shape and beyond? Anything specific you can call out?
For me, I'm really excited about the story. I mean, this is going to be like the epic conclusion to the Light and Darkness saga. Like, players are finally going to get to go into the Traveler, confront the Witness. Like, the stakes have never been higher. I'm just really excited to get to watch everybody play it out as soon as they can. Can we make it live right now?
I don't think so.
I tried. Anyway, what about you, Dan?
For me, I mean, it's a lot about the supers, right? Like, I just think we have this ability with these supers coming out to shift the meta in a really exciting way.
Mas já?
I just haven't played through them and gotten some hands on them. Sorry, like no spoilers. But,
ela vai lançar só em fevereiro do ano que vem.
They're going to play in all parts of the game. So I think you're going to see these in the campaign, obviously, but you're going to see these
Vai ficar ativa até
and
quando?
they really feel like that sort of pinnacle achievement of our Guardians journey in a lot of ways. So I'm just really excited to see the final product.
Yeah, for me, I guess it's maybe surprising. It's the weapons. And I know, like...
tem capacete aí de Falcão Noturno que é melhor do que aquela torrezinha lá.
Right? And so why are we excited about the weapons this time? I think the team sort of really looked and said, what's core to Destiny, right? Like, what's really important? And we said, hey, like, Destiny's at its best when you're getting a bunch of new weapons, and those weapons are so exciting that they are making it onto your character right away. They're like changing the way you play. So this is not just exotics, right? It's not just like, I think it was alluded to, like, what if Golden Gun was a sniper rifle? Pretty cool sniper rifle.
Ele tá falando isso aí?
I think it's also, we talked about these new weapon subtypes.
Que vai ter uma sniper Golden Gun.
What's a support auto rifle? We've made guns that heal before. We've made exotics to do it. Well, if we do it in a legendary, what needs to be different about it so we can make this thing that feels as useful to a fire team as someone bringing Gallon. It feels as useful as someone bringing Divinity, right? And we know that's the bar that we have to hit. So we're looking at a bunch of different things and saying, okay, we're gonna make these guns and we're gonna make them matter, right? We're gonna go out and you're gonna get awesome stuff on, the Pale Heart. I think we showed a little bit of it. There's like these sweet,
o nome do local vai
cards. If you go back and watch the footage,
Pale Heart.
And there's a bunch of awesome stuff coming in the weapons. And so I think we're really just trying to hit that core, like, hey, we're a loot game, right? Like, the loot should be awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, me too. So speaking of Pale Heart, the reveal, it was said in the reveal that
eles botariam a raid da testemunha na
linear
última
destination
season
ever done. So can you talk us through why it was decided to make it more linear destination?
All right.
Yeah.
So
the math lesson now?
Yeah, I'm not sure how many folks have been in algebra recently, but if you're like me and need a little refresher, linear line, right?
Walk
like
me
that's
through
what
it.
we're saying here. So a classic Destiny destination, we think of it as a loop, right? There are these big public areas. They're all connected in a circle. And then from those areas, there's little offshoots, or little alleyways that you can go to. And that just didn't make sense for going inside the Traveler. One, because the Traveler is huge. When we talk about the Pale Heart, we're saying, like, hey, what if you were an alien, you landed on Earth, and the only part of Earth you saw was like a parking lot in Montana. And you were like, oh, this place is huge, right? Like, it's sort of like, okay, so we're going to show you a really small slice of what is inside the Traveler. And then we said, it needs to feel like you're going somewhere important. It's a vast, unknowable place. Okay, well, on one end, we've got the portal. And on the other end, we've got the Witness that's built this giant monolith. And so every single area that we've built is built in a consecutive line from one to the other. So you travel through these things and you can look back at once you once were. And if you need to go to the next part, you're not going into these offshoots that dead end. You are going to where you need to be going. It's really focused on, hey, you've got a job to do here.
So it's like tracking your journey.
Vai ser tipo uma jornada. Você não vai ter aquela parada de ficar entrando, saindo.
Super different.
That's what we go for.
During the showcase, it was also mentioned that completing the campaign would unlock the full destination, and that it almost like reacts as we progress. Is that kind of what you're hinting at? Or can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, so I
Até
think
você
two
chegar
things we want people really to come away thinking when they think about. One, this is a bit different in the way that you experience the Pale Heart right away. So normally you might land on the throne world and you do a mission and then you're out with your Sparrow exploring the throne world, doing the missions if you want to. Day one of the Final Shape, you got a job to do, right? And so it is mission, right? And you just go through and you say, hey, we've got to stay focused on this thing. When you get to the end of that day one experience, everyone can sort of like collectively take a breath, collect themselves, and then you just this realization like, oh, we're like inside the Traveler, right? Like we should probably go see what that's about. And so the whole destination unlocks for you. And there's a lot of things that are different about the Pale Heart than our other destinations. I think we're gonna save some of those juicy tidbits for what's different about this destination and how it sort of compares to what we've done in the past. But yeah, it's a pretty different
disseram
experience
mesmo aí
than even what you might expect in
dessa
somewhere like the Dead Sea.
experiência, né?
And for real, like we do
Uma
want to save
mecânica
some
de
of these juicy tidbits,
mergulho
not just
que é
because it's
podre.
fun, but because like, I mean, the Traveler's just been this inscrutable godlike sphere that people have wanted to know more about for so long. And like, this is their opportunity to experience some of that mystery, and I'm excited to see how that plays out.
Floresta Infinita, Labirinto Infinito.
What can we really expect?
Yeah, I think we talked about this. We showed a little bit. The section that you're in, it's shaped off of who's there, right? And so who's been there?
That's so cool.
The Witness, right? The Witness
messing stuff up.
Yeah, chilling right there. We're trying to knock on the door. We don't know how to get inside. And and we're gonna make it eventually. And so it's got this both really unique aspect to it, and a bunch of the geo looks like stuff that you've never seen before. A bunch of these places feel like, this heaven on one side, hell maybe in the middle, crazy destiny surrealness at the end. And then there are these accents of like, oh, I'm at like a crazy heavenly beach, and then you see this giant ghost carved into a mountain, or you see the D1 tower. And so, we're really excited to sort of give people this like distilled Destiny experience that still feels really new when you're in there.
It's amazing.
So Dan, we've got feedback from players.
Pô, Kit, a outra lá tá só de plateia, né?
The Witness and the Veil during the Lightfall
É?
campaign. Rather than wait until like later
on. Só olhando, mano.
So players
só tá lá concordando,
for the Final Shape. How are we taking this feedback and making this the epic conclusion that this first saga deserves?
Ela
Oh yeah, no, I mean this is the sort of fun of the challenge for this, right? Because the Light and Darkness saga has been such a focal through line for really most of Destiny's existence, right? Like it is this epic story Joe was just talking about, some of that sort of culmination of experience inside the Pale Heart. And
óbvio, ela nunca deve ter visto nenhum mouse na vida.
Spot where we have to really land that culmination.
Não sabe nem quem quer usar vala.
Like there's a confrontation that's been happening. There's a story that's been being told. This part of the Destiny world, we have to end really well, and the players deserve that, and the story deserves that. And so there's some things we're doing to account for that. But in addition, we have to set up the next set of stories. We're going to talk probably more about episodes in a bit, but like starting after the Final Shape with the new episodes framework that we're rolling out, we're going to tell all different stories, and we'll learn more about the world of Destiny moving forward. So that's the unique challenge that we are taking very seriously. And to accommodate that,
we've done more, I think, on the narrative side of the fence than we've even done in the past. You know, more significant writers' rooms. We brought in more folks from even other parts of the studio to really kind of consult on this and make sure that, you know, all of our fans who probably know the Destiny lore better than I do are getting the pieces and answers to the questions that they want answered, unless we want to save some of those questions for the future stories that we're going to tell. There's more to it that you and the team have been doing as well, if you want to talk to that.
Yeah, probably to steal a little bit from Cosmo's and Pika's questions and give them the note card shuffle here in a minute. I think one of the things that we knew that was going to be challenging about this is, hey, we're telling the climax of the story. We know that, hey, when you get in the final shape, in those first moments, we want you to feel like, okay, Bungie delivered on this promise, delivered on this promise of becoming legend, delivered on really putting a bow on the Traveler and Pyramid story. The thing that was also important for us is like, okay, well, you're gonna confront the Witness, the biggest bad in Destiny. Okay, we think you have to confront the Witness in the raid, right? Like a version of Destiny's chronological history where it's like the Witness was tough. Not quite as tough as Valkaor, right? Like, it's probably not a thing that our players are going to be super happy about. Not a thing I'm going to be happy about. And so, what we really think is this day one experience is sort of like the penultimate episode, or the right before the season finale of your favorite TV show, and it really sets the stage for, hey, this is exactly what's going on in the world of Destiny. The stakes have never been higher. You go through a pretty epic journey. And then we say, okay, now we have to have this raid beat. And so it's sort of a reverse Taken King. If some of our people remember that moment in the Taken King, we delivered a thing where, hey, day one, for 80% of our players, they were like, I dealt with Oryx. And then for 20%, there was this other thing that they could go do, have another experience with Oryx.
Right.
And so for this one, we say, hey, we want everyone to go really set up what's happening in the final shape. And then for everyone, right, and we're not going to get into that, right, you should all wait for the raid, right? And we're going to help make sure everyone is brought along for the end of this journey. I think it takes a lot of our learnings from both really classic experiences like Crota and Oryx and sort of infuses them with what we've been doing with things like Savathûn and Callus, and taking all that lessons and saying, okay, we think we can do this the right way.
Yeah, and also just for something like this, when you complete the circle of this story that we've been telling, we want to make sure that we're paying homage to the things of the past, and we're talking through just so many of the things that have made this story what it is, but also telling it in a way where if you're coming into the final shape as your first experience, you can enjoy the mission, you can enjoy the campaign, you can understand what is happening.
Right.
But there's just a lot more if you have almost a decade's worth of Destiny play knowledge that you can look at.
So it kind of sounds like that means I have to play the raid to get the full story?
No. Now, while we're really excited about something like Fireteam Finder coming in and making it easier for anyone to get to the raid and experience those beats, yeah, I think the different part from our strategy sort of as in the past was,
infelizmente,
hey, there's something more for those who raid. There is a piece
literalmente
story, right, that is told in the raid. There's a piece that's essential. But it is definitely not going to be a moment where only raiders get to see the end of the Light and Darkness saga.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's good.
As we carefully skirt around 1,000 plot points here.
So we showed a glimpse of the new enemy, the Subjugators. Are they going to be as terrifying as the Tormentors? What sets them apart from previous enemies?
Yeah, we were running through some questions yesterday, just like this. Spoiler alert: we do practice a little bit. We do think about this. And I got in trouble because I said several obscenities last time I did this. So I'm not going to do that today on stream.
Who scolded you?
It could have been anyone. It could have been anyone that scolded me.
Okay.
And so I've been playing a lot of the Final Shape recently, probably surprising to no one. Subjugators are very different than Tormentors. Tormentors are sort of like this Kool-Aid man that busts through the wall and is saying, all right, look at me, right? Oh, okay. And Subjugators for us, they come out in these moments where you feel like you have a battlefield full of enemies. And then you hear the pyramid screech sound.
There's a sound.
And a subjugator beams in, and it's like they're the ultimate sort of backfield tactician, right? And they're doing things like giving everyone around it little pyramid buddies. Like you've been shot in PvP with an Arc Soul. Like imagine 10 taken scions, and suddenly a subjugator says, like, what if you all had little pyramid buddies? And you're like, oh, thanks, subjugator, right? And so there's still these moments where you're like, you might want to just hold on to your super. You might want to hold on to some heavy ammo when you're playing through the campaign, just in case this busts through. I think one other thing that we've really learned from both Tormentors and Light Hive is we started building these sort of like captain-y units, right? These things that feel scary. And we're very careful in both Witch Queen and in Lightfall to make sure, hey, we don't want to overuse these. We don't want this to become a thing where you get a bounty and it's like, kill 20 Light Hive. Like, oh, wow, they're just everywhere. And I think we're striking an even better balance now that we have a palette of these captains where it feels like, hey, I'm getting these like really meaty sandbox experiences. And we know how to sort of engage them in both the destination and the strike and the mission. So I'm really happy with a bunch of the learning the team has been taking as we continue to make these things.
Oh, totally. Yeah, my super basic take from having played it is that, like, and I didn't know how this was going to play out until I experienced it. Joe described it really well, but it's what I want from these units as a player is I want that moment of ha and insert obscenity here so Cosmo doesn't yell at me. Right. But like. And the subjugator absolutely delivers that in the same way that I felt from the Tormentor, and the same way I definitely felt the first time I saw the Light Hive. But it's just, to Joe's point, it's a very different way, right? Like it is, when it comes out, like I'm just as terrified and worried for myself and my fire team, but for different reasons.
Right.
And with different tactics, and you have to approach them a very different way. So I think it feels very good to me, at least as a player.
Why am I already nervous?
Because whatever you just described, what you were picturing is probably lighter than what's actually going to happen. Like, everybody's are Arc Souls, and to say.
Não tem nada ainda.
I'm a little nervous.
Tô tentado a comprar 12k de prata.
Your favorite, or everyone's, not yours.
Eles vão aumentar, né, o preço da prata
favorite
hoje.
Hunter, Cade 6, is
Vão?
seemingly back from the dead.
Vão, eles falaram semana passada. E vão fazer reajuste nos preços da
I mean, here's the reality. We've been talking about
então
this
já vou
all
comprar
coming full
aqui já.
circle, and you know, Joe was talking about the campaign as mission. You have a mission. There's a thing that has to happen.
Ó, vai
And, like,
sair
both as players and developers,
23
it was
reais.
just hard to picture
Deixa eu ver se já não
finishing
fizeram
this
isso agora,
fight
que eu acabei de
without
reiniciar
Cade
aqui.
6, right? And
Cadê?
so, you know, so we brought Cade 6 back, and you're going to get less details than you
Tá
want.
tudo em promoção.
But Cade 6 is back for this fight, and like, it was
I
super
don't
important
even
to us as
know
you go
where
through
to begin.
to have
Uma
Cade
final
6,
mais
Zavala,
espaço anual.
Ikora, on comms talking through.
Já liberou. Tá, eu vou finalizar aqui a live agora. Opa, Lucas Lopes. Tudo.
Opa, e aí, bom?
You've missed so much.
500, Silver ainda tá 179. Tem algum pacote de prata novo?
Não.
I don't even know where to begin.
Só tem a Final Shape, né? Beleza. Vamos ter aqui de Final Shape. Final Shape.
Final 32? Qual que é esse meu cartão?
Comprando também?
Comprando 2k primeiro de peso argentino. 2.000 pesos argentinos. Isso aí, 30 reais.
Por que tá comprando separado ao invés de só comprar o produto?
Porque eu vou querer. Um pouquinho a mais.
Ah, sim.
Ah, agora comeram a grana lá do banco. Então, a fatura fecha dia 20. O pagamento automático cai do dia 21 pro dia 22. Então, beleza. Entendi. Ou eu compro 4.000 pesos, Kit. 4.000 pesos argentinos. Não vale nada, mas... O que você acha? Ô, ele tava na alta o peso argentino, Kit?
Como assim?
Dia 22 do mês passado, tava 0,018 centavos de real. É, 1 centavo, né? Tava 1 centavo. Tava 1 centavo o kit.
Destiny,
Quase
atualização
2.
na fila. Puta que pariu, irmão. 12 gigas de atualização.
Só isso?
Porra!
Ah, o meu já baixou.
É um safado.
Kit. 4.000 pesos? Eu compro?
Não, compra o de 9999.
99999?
Sim. Compra do
Não,
luxo.
pera. Não tem.
Lógico que 146,98.